Hello, I'm AxelMC131 and welcome back to Behind the Blocks in Minecraft 1.8. Now, I'm quite excited to show you guys what I have today. This may look like an ordinary pile of rubble and leaves and stuff that I could have just thrown together. Anyone could probably throw something like this together if you're making like ruins in an adventure map or a PvP map and you want to add a little bit of aesthetic flair. You can do like ruins and things. And they're quite fun, but they can be quite tiresome to build. So what I have created is a random ruin generator, right? And this uses falling sand and monster spawners. And I'll show you how I came up with this idea. So earlier today I was mucking around with custom spawners, and I realized, hang on, you can make a custom spawner that spawns falling sand. Of course you can. So all that is to summon a monster spawner. I can actually just take this over here. Is going to be setblock, yeah, ~1 monster spawner 0 replace. So if we just go setblock ~1 monster spawner 0 replace, and all you then have to do is go EntityId and specify the mob. So if I go EntityId zombie, theoretically this will make a... Nope, I've screwed it up. Hang on a minute. Ah, sorry, mob spawner. There we go. People are going to be yelling at me for that. Mob spawner. And there we go. So we have created a zombie spawner doing that. And this will spawn zombies, basically. They won't spawn them now because it's during the day. But if you have another one like wolves or cows or something that don't need to be in darkness, it will just spawn them. So I use that, and you can actually do this to summon EntityId falling sand. And if you want to then specify a particular block, you then go SpawnData, and then make sure you add a time at least 1. I just normally put mine to 10 or 100 just because I don't like to risk it. But then you go tile and block. These are 2 tags which need to be the same, and they are the ID of the block that you want to be. So this spawner will summon this command block will summon a monster spawner that spawns falling sand, which when it lands spawns cobblestone. I can demonstrate this. Dink, cobblestone. And something interesting that I've noticed is that when you set a block to a monster spawner, it will instantly try and summon, if you haven't, assuming you haven't specified any other tags, it will instantly try and summon 4 of the relevant entities. Every time. So if I just get rid of it, you can notice that there are 4 pieces of cobblestone. Let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And reset again, 1, 2, 3, 4. And they don't always work. Sometimes they like hit on half blocks or something, or they bounce off the top of the spawner, and they will despawn. No, there you go. And they will just appear as the drop. That's an interesting glitch, but I think that's because of the fact that because it's summoning falling sand, it doesn't set it to a block. They don't snap to a block until they land. You'll notice, so that you can see them all snap. And then if 2 of them try and land in the same block, that happens. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, so I have used this to make custom ruins, basically. So I'll just get rid of this so it doesn't keep spawning cobblestone. You can make a system here. This is a long system, but don't be daunted by the commands. They're mostly copy-pastes. So this is just a hop clock. The first thing that you need to do, by the way, is create a scoreboard, because this is how I am testing for an item. Because I'm spawning these at an item, which is a cobblestone monster egg. It could be any monster egg, but I just used a monster egg to specify because it's a rare block, and you can't pick it up as an item without. I think you can pick them up with a silk touch pick. I don't know, but anyway, so you go scoreboard objectives add, and the one I created is called ruinGen, like that, and it's just a dummy objective. So what we're doing here is we have a hopper clock. This single command block over here is setting the scoreboard of any item. Going to set their ruinGen score to 1 if they're a Minecraft monster egg. That's it. That's all the specification it needs. You can make that even more specific if you want to have a custom item, or you can have any other trigger you want to start this. But we're using that as a proxy. You could use it with an armor stand or another mob or something like that, but this is how we're doing it. So the first thing that we're going to be doing on the other side, so we have a comparator running out here, we're going to execute a test for any entity with a ruinGen minimum score of 1. So we're testing for basically one of these. Exactly. And what's then going to happen is it's going to start this massive chain, which is going to summon spawn eggs. The first, it's going to start off by summoning a monster spawner, so it's executing at the item with a ruinGen minimum score of 1. It's going to set the block 10 blocks above it to be a Minecraft mob spawner. 0 replace. EntityId, FallingSand, SpawnData, time 10, tile cobblestone, block cobblestone. So it's going to summon a cobblestone spawner. And at the same time, it's going to TP that item up 11 blocks. Now what that means is that the moment it summons the spawner, it will then TP the monster egg on top of the spawner. And then you need to bear that in mind, because this first set block is setting the block 10 blocks above. All the rest of them are for 1 block below. So tilde tilde minus 1 tilde, as you can see there. So I'll show you what each of these do. These are all just copy pastes from pretty much here on to the end, except for the last two. So if I remember correctly, I believe this one is cobblestone, this one is cobblestone. So all we've got to do is change, copy and paste, and then change this where it says tile, and then change this where it says block, and make sure those are the same thing. I don't know what they actually need, but you need both of those, and I'm fairly sure they need to be the same thing. Then we have mossy cobble, and you can notice these are all on 4-tick delays, so there is plenty of time for this for the monster spawners to be replaced. Then cobblestone wall, so this thing. I haven't specified any damage values, by the way. I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. Then mossy cobblestone again, stone stairs, which is going to summon cobblestone stairs. Leaves, oak leaves by default, stone slabs, which are going to be smooth stone slabs like that. And then the last thing that it's going to do is it is going to set the block below it to air, so it's going to delete the spawner. And then we have 3 redstone repeaters, and this is time for the monster egg to fall back down onto the ground. And at that point, it's then going to execute kill any entity that is an item within 8 blocks. So not only will it kill itself, but it'll also kill any items around it. So that means that if you get the glitch where you get 2 blocks trying to spawn in the same place, and one of them breaks and drops as the item, it'll kill all the items. So this works actually pretty well. This one here, I actually doubled up. I ran this system once and then dropped another monster egg and ran it again. So this is what happens if you use 2 of them, basically. And it can be quite different. So I'll just show you now. So this is the cobblestone monster egg. I've got 64 of them, doesn't matter how many, but I'll drop that. And here we go. And you can see it just summons the blocks all around like that. Oh, and it has apparently glitched a little bit. That one didn't work very well, alright. But there's an example of some ruins. And that's how it works. And it will just randomly summon these ruins. And it will summon the blocks 4 at a time. Every time. Because when you force set the new block, it will just reset it. So if we do it again. Dink. And then deletes all the blocks. And you can see how that works. So I'll show you that again a little bit closer up. I'll just do it on the same place. So if I do this on the same spot, I'll get a little bit more information. So let's go that. And it summons it. And you can see the block sitting on top of the spawner. And then it falls down and deletes all the items. And there you go. So that's pretty much all there is to it. I think this is actually pretty cool. You could change those blocks to whatever you want. Like if we wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, like we could change this from being cobblestone to being, say, let's make this one planks. Which is just, whoops, I really need to rebind that key. Now it's reset the progress. So if we just make that planks, and we make this planks, and we run it again, it's now going to add some planks into the mix. Ta-da! And there you go. Random ruin generation in Minecraft 1.0, just using mob spawners that summon custom falling sand. So yeah, I hope you guys have found this interesting and can use this in some of your own worlds. I'm thinking of doing this, putting it around in a adventure map or a custom survival world. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. I've been XLMC131, and I'll see you next time.